What's up everybody, it's Soundwave Spectre here with another audio described clip. Today we're going to be doing the opening of Diablo II Resurrected. It's a remake of a game that's about 20 years old now. Without any further ado, let's get into it. In fiery letters, Blizzard Entertainment presents Black screen. A prison. A spider crawls across the floor as a hooded stranger enters the prison through the cell doors. The long hallway. The only source of light is blinding and coming from the open windows. The hooded man enters as bats fly above. Cut to the top view of a cell. An old decrepit man is laying on the floor, hurled in a fetal position in the middle of the room. He is drawing in the dust with his finger. His name is Marius. The door opens. The hooded man is standing in the doorway. As the hooded man crosses the threshold, Marius begins to get up. He enters. Marius turns around, is afraid. He stumbles and crawls back. Inching back towards his cot, he hits his plate. The hooded man sits in a chair in front of the window. The light of the window makes it difficult for the hooded man to be seen.
So, Marius, at last I find you.
Struggling to make out who it is through the light, Marius has a vision of this hooded man in mystical armor.
Yes, now I recognize you.
Marius begins to relax and get up.
I should have known you'd travel in disguise. They're always watching.
I've been searching for you for a long time, Marius. I was rather beginning to think you didn't want to be found.
Marius' face looks troubled.
Oh, forgive me, Tyrael, please. It wasn't my fault.
Not your fault. Tell me, Marius, how was it not your fault?
The Wanderer. Yes, it was
Marius looks up to the ceiling, begins to reminisce.
the Wanderer.
Camera transitions to a brazier in a tavern.
My days in the Rogue Citadel seemed so long ago.
Marius is laying in the tavern.
I sought refuge from my memories in the company of other outcasts. High in the mountains past the eastern gate.
A waiter approaches Marius. Marius is smoking a pipe in a very similar position as his current day. The waiter stands over Marius, but Marius looks very inebriated. The waiter looks annoyed, shakes his head. The waiter leaves, carrying a tray with 2 tankards on it. The tavern is dimly lit by braziers.
Oh, I fought sleep for days at a time. For when I dreamt, the memories would return.
Fiery vision with skeletons.
Memories of the monastery.
Marius holds his head in fear.
The evil which had claimed dreams, memories. I couldn't tell the difference anymore.
A hooded man dragging a sword leads the skeletons of the memory. Marius is very tired. As the tavern door opens, cold air blows in. Marius squints to see who's entering the tavern.
Had the evil from my dreams followed me at my heels?
A hooded man uses the sword as a walking aid.
How had he found me here?
The man who is leading the skeletons in his dream drags a sword in.
Could this broken shell of a man, barely able to carry the weight of his own sword, be the burning terror which drove me to hide here?
The hooded man from the dream sits next to Marius at a nearby table. Other patrons look on, wave him off as they don't think he's threatening. Hooded man jams his sword into the floor, but his hand is shaking. His sword begins to rock back and forth as he could barely control it.
He seemed to have demons of his own. He struggled to contain.
He drops his sword and tries to hold his hand as green energy seems to pulse out of it. The other patrons are laughing, with big toothless grins. Green energy on the hooded man's face.
He was losing.
Close up on the patrons laughing. The hooded man overturns a table. The candle from the table begins to start fire. The braziers begin to bounce back and forth as little imps emerge from the fire. The hooded man clutches his chest. The patrons are concerned as more imps shoot out. Demons come from the ground, breaking the floorboards. Green energy comes, spewing out as well. Close up on Marius being terrified. More imps from the fire. Fire begins to spread. The dream man is completely green.
As I watched, I became convinced that I was truly
Imps begin to knock over braziers and start fires.
the terror, the destruction, the evil I witnessed, how else could
A green
I
specter
explain
comes out of the
them?
hooded man.
Were these the demons from my dream, or were they born within the wonder?
A demon with 2 arms, fat neck, and a slug-like body crawl across the floor. Skeletons with swords emerge from the fire. The laughing patron gets on the table, sword in hand. Another patron dodges. Blasts of magic. Marius looks on in fear. The waiter falls, the inferno engulfs him. A patron gets a blast of magic through his chest. The patron exchanges blows with the skeleton before taking a sword swing into the gut. A fiery tornado is in the middle of the tavern. All the ghostly energy returns to the hooded man as he falls to the floor. The bats flee out the hole in the roof as the demons return to the holes from which they came. Marius drops his pipe as the hooded man gets up again amongst the fiery carnage. He looks back at Marius. He slowly heads towards the exit. Marius gets up. Looking at the inferno around him, he heads towards the outside. Marius shivers at the threshold of the door as wind is howling.
Why did I follow him?
There's blood on the floor
I don't know.
next to a dead man.
Why do things happen as they do in dreams? All I know is that when he beckoned, I had to follow him. And from that moment, we traveled together east. Always into the east.
The tavern is engulfed in flames as the words Diablo II appear in the fire. Diablo II Resurrected. Fade to black. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Soundwave Spectre, and I'll catch you on the next one.